Hey guys, welcome back. We are going through a tactic builder here, and before we start with the tactic builder, I have to just make it easy for you, and you have to understand that there is two ways to make a tactic when you start with the football manager. The first thing I would just say is that many of you maybe have losing games and think that well, this game doesn't work, this game doesn't work, and because you're getting sacked from place to place, and that's normal in football. Normal managers get sacked if they don't get results, and even Mourinho gets sacked, and that's a part of the life. And I think but you get really messed up, when you get you don't make it with a team. And the part is that when you start making mistakes, when you don't win games, then is the time you make a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to go through it and make it easy for you to understand how these things is hanging together. So I'm taking everything to standard here, so you can start from the bottom. We are starting with Chelsea because it's not a total dominant team. And the thing I said also that there is two different ways of making it. Okay, you have to remember one thing is when you make up a tactic here, keep it simple and build on it. That's the football manager way to do it, okay? A little bit unrealistic, and the part is because of if you're the other kind of person, you love a football style, okay? You are, in a way, Pep Guardiola, or you are Jose Mourinho, do you implement your playing style at every team? You don't care what the other team is. You mind, for example, if Pep Guardiola takes over Brighton, he starts selling the players. He maybe moves down some midfielders as a defender. He gets his style, maybe change some formation, a little bit compromised, but the style is Pep's style. The fungal style is fungal style. When you bring this kind of coaches in a team, you know exactly what you're getting. So you have to decide, if you're that kind of coach, then you can tickle on all this, you can set it this, everything you want to, okay? But if you are just taking over a team and you would just want to try to win titles with that team, you don't have any loyalty to any playing style, then you have to be careful on punching those instructions too much to start with. You can do it in the game, okay? You should maybe use more personal player instructions in here, okay? So anyway, we are going through this. We're going through everything, and you're going to see it. But for me, I think when I have a lot of videos here that you can see. I have remade, for example, Zidane, Mourinho. I'm working with Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson won 1999 team, the treble-winning team. Then you know exactly what you want. So you can go in here and you can move it. If you're that kind of coach, you play the same system, same philosophy, make it work. If it works for one team, save it, and then you move it to another game. Then you can start to say, okay, this is my philosophy. I know this worked here, so okay, but this team is better defensively. Maybe I can do that. I can maybe push the defensive line a little bit higher with this team because this is a better team. Just imagine if Pep Guardiola doesn't have fast center defenders, he wants the team to stand high up, but maybe not as high as he would have done when he had Boateng behind there, right? So if something works for you, keep it that if you are loyal to a system of play, okay? That's the part. Okay, we're going to start. Before we start here, guys, don't care about this. I'm just call it this a test. Nothing is push it in. So we go here. Okay. We can also start in this part of the team because the thing here is that, guys, you can go very, very fast through the team instruction because I think that's what you want. But we're not going to show you how that works with the player. Okay, the balance here is that, remember that this is maybe the team mentality here, guys, is, for me, I think that's the most this really goes into the game. This have a lot of thing to say in the game, okay? Look at this. We have it unbalanced here, okay? Balanced and everything is on standard. Imagine if I go here and I take it to positive. Do you see that this goes higher? I go to very attacking. When I play very attacking, do you see the tempo of the game goes much higher? The standard goes higher up. The standard for my very attacking is higher up here, okay? So if I go to attacking, it says higher. Is in the middle here. You see that? It's in the middle, but it's higher. But if I go to cautious, it's still in the middle, but suddenly it's then slightly lower. So this goes on a lot of things. For example, you go on the attacking width. It goes to the passing directness. It goes to the tempo of the game. It goes with your defensive line here, as your defensive line will increase if you play more positive football, right? and it will be more balanced, it will be lower. And the same with line of engagement. I also think it will also hit a little bit these things, like here your players will take more chances, right? So if you, for example, I played tiki-taka with Barcelona. I made a system that worked with tiki-taka Barcelona 2011, I think it was, Pep Guardiola's 2011 style, that you can also find here. Then I used that tactic in with Dinamo Zagreb. Do you know, I used minor editing in the team, but what worked better, for example, in Real Sociedad, it was positive. But in Dinamo Zagreb, cautious was much better. We kept the ball even much more. But because I had changed a little bit the player rules, so the end product was the same. So in a way, okay, I'm going to show you. For example, this player is an inside forward, right? We are playing balanced here, but this player is playing attacking. So his mentality is attacking. So what will that say to you? He will be playing a little bit maybe wider. He will play a little more direct. He will be his tempo will be a little bit higher when he's passing. He will also, for example, push higher up on the field here. He will have a higher pressing intensity. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I think so. He will go out because he will be more attacking defensively and offensively. So he will take some. He is not playing this, not this, as you say, standard. The players only played balanced will be there. So he's playing attacking. So your team is playing balanced, but this guy is playing attacking. He's playing like this. Sorry, he's playing like this. He's like this. He's playing slightly more direct passing. His tempo is higher. He is also, as you can see, this is moved higher up in the field. So he's playing attacking. Okay. And then it's come the thing that when you set these player roles, it goes with this one, the team mentality. And there is no answer what is right and what is wrong. You have to, that's the art of it. And you have to say, okay, you balance the team. I remember Ancelotti was the coach of Real Madrid. In the start, he had some hard time, and he kept saying that we need to find the balance. We need to find the balance, and was then moved Di Maria as a as a Mezzala, and he set Isco on the bench because he started like this to begin with, you know. And he said, oh, that doesn't work because I cannot have Kroos and Modric here and Isco here. It was too hard. So he didn't find the balance there. I think it was Alonso or something like that. So what he did at last was that, okay, you know, we go with a 3 in the middle here. Because I cannot do anything with the team mentality, but I have to do something with the roles in the team. Okay, so back to Football Manager, away from Ancelotti and Real Madrid. So, okay. So then you understand that when you play attacking here, this guy is not anymore playing attacking. Do you know what he's playing? He's playing very attacking. so you understand that. And how can you adjust that? So you have to see to your team, okay, how many of my players do I want to play more offensively? To do their own. It's not that he's attacking only. Okay, so if I go here, you can edit it. Look here. He's not playing attacking, right? If I use him as a trequista, he's still playing attacking. If I'm using him as a wide target man, he's still playing attacking. If I use him as a support duty here, oh, suddenly it's balanced. He's in the team. Then he will do exactly what the rest of the team will do on those parameters that we have just on, okay? And if you use him as a winger in support, it's balanced. Goes to attack, he becomes very offensively, you know? So inverted winger in support goes to balanced again. So, yeah. So you see that one, you know, for example, then, you know, if you have 2 inside forwards going in attack, you also use a trequista, for example, on top here, say advanced forward. Okay, he will pressure higher up in the field, he will pressure higher up in the field, he will pressure higher up in the field. And this can work if you're playing maybe defensively sometimes, you know, because then you have to have many defensive role behind here. But then the distance also will be very different from those players. But these players at this time are playing attacking football. The other players are playing 2 forces down here. They're playing balanced. For example, if I go to the advanced playmaker here, he's playing in support. He's playing balanced. He's keeping the team shape, team, everything. Every team needs some players that can go away from the team. For example, if you're playing, and again, you can play, it's no right and wrong answers, but this is only to make you understand how this works. For example, if you're playing with if you're playing with Leicester, I had a friend who played with Leicester who sent me and said, I cannot make it happen. I said, what's the problem? He said, the problem is that I can't get Vardy in the room behind here. And what I saw was that he's playing many players in attack duty. So if many players are playing in attack duty, they are all running forward. And he also used pass into space. Okay, so almost all the players in his team is playing now in the space. Okay, that's what you're saying. Pass into space. Many more of your players will pass the ball into space. Maybe not this guy, but I think most of the rest of the team are doing it. And you have two wingers that is also in attack. Let's say it like this, okay? The two wingers are also in attack. So what will happen then? Most probably, many of your players, when you get the ball, will seek one of three. But if I, for example, go with a little more different roles here, and I use him, for example, something else, okay, I use him as a wide playmaker, something else, okay, and in support duty or in advanced attack duty. So when they get the ball, they will maybe seek him, and he played very narrow with his team, okay. So what did happen then? If you, for example, want to use players into space, for example, if I would be the manager of Arsenal in this game, and my thought is to use Özil using Aubameyang. So okay, then I have to give the ball to Özil, right? I have to find Özil to give the ball to Aubameyang. So then maybe it would be crazy for me to be using pass into space. Why? Because then everyone will pass the ball into space. More players will pass the ball to Aubameyang. Then maybe your defensive the player are doing it. And also, if you, for example, have a deep lying playmaker here, and you have, I don't think many people do this, but okay, so let's say we do it. And the other one is a roaming playmaker, you know, and you have Özil here. You don't understand why is not Özil getting the ball? Because these two are getting the ball as well. They have to share the ball, these three players. Imagine this system, and you also take pass into space. This is, for example, Özil. So what can you do then? Okay, maybe then if you're going to use advanced playmaker and you use Özil, maybe you should play, what should you do? You need a lot of space into room, right? You need a lot run into room. You see that you should use Aubameyang, that is your main target, in the room behind there. Okay, then you should use Aubameyang in attacking way. Okay, you should be attacking if he's inside forward or a striker. Let's see, he's a striker, then he should be in a role that is offensively and should make runs. Okay, do you want then Özil to play the ball? Then Özil should be the dominant playmaker in the field. The other players should support him. You know, maybe I'm, again, it's not right or wrong answer here. You can make it with three playmakers as well, maybe, I don't know. But you maybe should use it, for example, like this, and this guy as, if you absolutely want a playmaker, use him as a deep playmaker in defense. But maybe, for example, I'm just thinking how is maybe go as an anchorman here and ask this player to, dude, shorter passing, because then he pass and take fewer risk. Then he will pass it to the closest person, and that's Özil here, right? These players will just roam the ball. When Özil get it, Özil maybe should be using it as attacking, you know. And then Özil will find him maybe because he will go then and hit for the advanced forward, the poacher, the player that is running into the room. Not everyone else, right? You're with me, guys? Okay. And then we have also some other things here you should do. Okay. I haven't played with Chelsea. I'm going to play it now. And we are not going to, we are going through these things, for example, first. And yeah, okay, I'm a Chelsea coach. I don't know which system I want to play. I just want to win. I just want to win. Then I'd start with little things. And you have to remember that, especially in the English Premier League, if you're not Liverpool or Manchester City, you should be watching a lot of the games. Not whole the games, but extended highlights. Because you have to adjust to your opponents. The opponents are physical good, some of them go crossing, some of them don't go crossing, and you can see what you can do before the game and after the game. First of all, I will set up system here, and many people think I want to win the games, we are the best team, we go like this. You don't need to go to attacking, you can go balance, start with balance, then you approach it a little bit cautious and positive with the game, okay? But be careful with messing around too much, okay? But yeah, since we are the top 4 team we are going for, and we believe we have top 4 squad, I think we're gonna start with positive, and we can see what we can do from there. Okay, when I adjust this positive, that means every player will now take more the passing directness of their standard will be higher, slightly higher tempo, slightly more wider game, and also with the yada yada with the defensive part. Okay, then we see, do we want to play fairly wide? Okay, if you play wide, you will make fairly wide. For example, for me, if I want to play tiki-taka against Liverpool, I would use fairly wide. Why? Because I know they play very narrow, and they also, then I want to play, and I know they go with the gegenpress. Okay, if they go with the gegenpress, I got good ball playing players, then I want to play a little bit more wider. Why? Because then my players can keep the ball, and when they start with the gegenpress, that is very compact in the 3 front, because there's up front they are very scary when they pressure you. So my players are long from each other, so when they start passing with good technique, good passing, the players in there will be very, very tired, and they will not dominate you in your own field. Because if you play ultra, if I play, for example, very narrow and try to have much shorter passing, then normally the gegenpress will kill you if you're a very physical good team. Okay, for example, and the other part is if you're playing counter-attacking, you can also then play fairly wide. You can, for example, if you have got a lot of players that you know are very good at movement in the back four, players like Vardy, for example, if I play with Leicester, maybe I will go a little bit wider. Why? Because then there is space for Vardy to run. Then I have to set up my team to make it there, right? So I go then, okay, fairly more wide. And the other thing with the fairly wide is, I think, is in a way two things here. One thing is that if you play fairly wide, your players, as you see, play longer from each other, so and there will be more space, right? As well as the players will more look at the wide areas. That doesn't mean the ball will always go to the fullback, because it's more here, but that will also happen. More width, more playing at the sides, right? So you have to see it. Okay, if you see you're losing many games here, if you're seeing you're losing many games, maybe your style is this one. So these two here have to say a lot to say for your system. So just adjusting one thing will help you a lot. Okay, so what's right? You can play tiki-taka like this. You can also play tiki-taka like this. When I played with Barcelona against Liverpool, I went like this, but against the other teams, I went again like this. It worked better for me. Don't know why. Yes, I know why, but okay. Anyway, passing to space. Passing to space is something I don't use normally that much. For me, it's more like, I know many teams use it, that when they got the ball, they need a goal, they go passing to space. For me, it doesn't. I have normally played a lot of tiki-taka systems, and that doesn't work. But I played a little bit more compact, physical play with Valencia. That worked very well for me. But it also works well when you need to break up defense. I don't use it that much for that. For me, it's more like, again, it's not wrong or right. I know many people use this with great success when you want to open up the defense and they are not scoring goals. For me, it has given more success when I play it as a counter-attack. I really have a bad team, and when we get the ball, we just show it up, get that ball forward. Okay, play out of defense. If you're watching your games and you see your players are going too hasty from defense to attack, hit this one. It can also be a bad team. It doesn't need to be a good team. Play at the defense. Encourage defenders to pass their way out from the back rather than clear the ball long. Okay? Do you want long ball or short ball from defense? Forget everything else. Short or long ball from defense. This is more longer ball. This is more shorter passing. That's it. Nothing else. If you want your central defenders to pass it shorter, go like this. Then they will build up the game from defense, right? Focus through middle, focus through down to right and left. I use that more in before games when I go and analyze my opponent, and you can see how many goals they have, for example, get against them on crosses. If they get a lot of goals on themselves from crosses, I may use this one. If they are using a 3-back defensive line, I may use this one or this one. For me, these have worked better. This doesn't mean you don't use your wider players. Sometimes this works better if you're going to use your wider players. For example, and I'm going to show it to you. You hit this one, right? Focus through the middle, because you have someone you want to go through in the build-up. Okay? But you set up the team that when this player get the ball through the middle, his choices are here. Look at this. Winger in attack, right? Winger in attack. Then I use him as a false 9. For example. Because I want those two to get the ball here. And I go here. If I ask him to play faster forward, this is not longer balls, this is have fast, this directness. If you ask him to be direct, don't use support passing, get it forward as soon as possible. This should be done by those players of you who really can hit the players. Take him, and he's taking more risk, right? So when this guy gets the ball, he will shuffle it up here. Why? Because these two players are your players on attack duty. He can maybe also use him, and he can use them. But it's more probably if he uses this advanced playmaker, if he uses this false 9, this guy gets the ball. It can happen that he just start using this player again, because he's seeing it narrow, he's not seeing the wide areas. But this guy will see it. This guy will see it. You have given him license to kill, so he will do it. Okay, you understand that? So you can do that too. You can pass through the middle, but it ends up at the wide areas. So that can happen as well. Underlap, overlap says itself. So, but I just want to make you sure for something. If you want to make underlaps work here, you got to use players that can keep the wide areas like this. Wide midfielders, I don't think he can do. For example, I thought in the beginning that wide midfielders could do that, because the wide midfielders that I thought could stand very, very wide areas, and then you can make runs here. You can do that again. It's not everything is possible with the right players and the right adjustments, but normally the wide midfielder comes down here. So maybe with a winger, I don't know, with for example, it will work. I don't use it that much, to be honest, and I have a little bit hard time to see how it works brilliantly for my teams. So for me, overlap, the thing with overlap is very important. Okay, you use overlap, that makes that player very aggressively, so this will increase the aggressivity at these players. You know, he will be more, you're asking him to come up higher up in the field, you're asking this guy, your winger, to keep the ball so he comes up. Okay, one thing that can happen there is that these two start to collide. They can start, if I use him like this, okay, he will stand, suddenly these two will stand very, very, very close to each other, and you can see that in the game. If you see that this is what's happening, then yes, he will come forward for him, but the pass will not be any good. So you have to see the distance, right? So if I take this one, I normally don't use this as overlap with wing back in attack as well. That's, you're asking to be extremely offensively. This will increase their mentality, the kind of mentality, and they will make him more attacking by just hitting that button. So maybe you should balance it, and maybe you can end up with attacking, but maybe start with support in a way. Okay. So that's something also you can do. Passing directness, that's also very, 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 you can see if you're losing some games, for example, you're not making it happen, just, you know, use that game for learning. Okay, go here and just tickle one thing of a time, just this thing. I see how will that be in your team? Is your team playing better? Is your team playing worse? That's why start easy, build up on it, so you can test one thing, especially in preseason. In preseason, don't look at the result, look at how the players are working together. Normally we win a lot of games in preseason, and right away the series start, you lose a lot of games, and you understand, why am I doing it? Something wrong here. Okay, so okay, passing directness, if you ask the players to pass it more direct, they will go more directly forward, right? So when I hit this button in team instruction, I am asking my central defender to look forward faster. The ball will not be kept here. And for example, I have like this, that can be a little bit hard. Then you maybe ask your defenders, don't look that much forward, they can pass it shorter, but these players now will look more forward with the ball, right? Because we're playing out the defense, so it will be a balance, but still these players will be encouraged to look forward faster. Especially the players who are like him, advanced playmaker in attack. But what will happen with the players if you go standard? Then it will be standard to positive, right? If I go cautious, it will be standard. If I go to attacking, slightly more direct. They will look a little more faster forward. If you look at Brendan Rodgers and Leicester, they are playing fine, beautiful football, right? But they are still playing very fast forward. Liverpool is playing fast forward, but they are not playing high balls like, for example, Egil Sodrillo and Norway did in their time, right? Or Iceland do. They're playing it short passing, but they are playing it faster forward, right? So that can be some misunderstanding for some people. And also the tempo here, right? You are asking the players to play higher tempo. That means when you get the ball, will you pass it in a faster or more slower? If you're going to imagine you're a football player, you get the ball. If you're going to pass it on fast, you need to have good first touch. You need to have good decision, all the things like your passing ability. If you are a really bad soccer player and they ask you to pass the ball fast, we want the ball to go fast from place to place. For example, Sarri plays like this. Higher tempo. But they're still playing short passing game, right? So if you go here and you take this tempo higher, right? And you also encourage them to have shorter passing. That means they will keep the ball a higher tempo in the team, but they will not go fast forward. They will keep the ball. So for example, the center back gets the ball, he will give it fast away. But here, if you ask them to go shorter, much more direct, their pass will go higher up. They will seek player higher up in the field, and the passing will go very fast, right? Okay. So if I go to slightly more direct, and I also go higher tempo, I'm really asking them to much here, guys. Okay. Then I have to go here and see, okay, I have a bad player. This play is really bad with the passing. Then I go to here. I ask him to have his passing directness to shorter passing. Keep it simple for him. Take fewer risk, boy. See, passes more simple than standard and more directing. I want him here. But the rest is okay. So if you start messing around too much here with tempo, then you have to go and see, okay, which players of mine cannot cope with that higher tempo. Extremely important. Play for set pieces is time wasting is very effective if you're leading and there is 10 minutes left of the game, and that works absolutely. Play for set pieces is if you're training a lot with set pieces, you have a good team on both set piece delivery and set pieces, it will work well. So they will get more set pieces. Work the ball into box. That really means that for me it results in less crossing. So yeah, that will do it for you. They will keep the ball more in the final third. It's not here, it's the final third. They will keep the ball more, they will pass it, and they will end the attack when they feel it. So is higher risk of getting a counter attack against you, and you also get less shots on goal, but I think you will get more good chances. But maybe sometimes you also don't need this one, but you don't have the technical ability to open up a defense. Why keep this on? If you are Stoke and you're playing against Barcelona, do you really want this? Maybe, because the players then keep the ball a little bit more, they can score. So it can go both ways, right? But mostly you see it, you test it, right? One-on-one. You test this once. If you get a lot of chance, big cut chances, don't hit it. If you do it and you can see, okay, this doesn't work, you're not getting that many chances, maybe try this one. Shot on side is just the opposite of work the ball into box. You can shoot to the attack, finish it, right? So it doesn't mean you have to play tiki-taka and keep this on. That doesn't mean that, right? You're saying to your players, keep the ball more in the team, because I'm seeing that we are shooting from all over the place and we are not scoring. We are having too many shots from long shots and things like that. Either you go here or you adjust it on the player instructions, ask them to shoot less often, those players who are shooting a lot. Hit early crosses more means that you can hit it behind the defensive line or just get the crosses faster before they come on place. It doesn't mean that you will increase the level of you will of course get more crosses, but for example means if you're playing with the two strikers, the team is unbalanced, they will hit the crosses faster and from lower part of the field, right? They don't maybe always let it from the byline, they will get some more crosses from deep. Dribble less, run at defense. I normally never use the dribble less. It's more for teams I think that have hard time opening a defense. I don't know, but run at defense is, for example, if I hit run at defense, every player at the final third, all of your players that are playing in the final third are part of the final third here. They will be dribbling a lot more. So okay, then you can see if I have, don't see the rules. It doesn't mean these three. It doesn't say these three because maybe this guy is a Mazzella in attack. Then he also will dribble more, and I can show you something here. He doesn't dribble that much, but you ask him, you can also just do like this. And if you use the dribble more, run at defense, right? But you don't want this Mazzella to dribble that much, dribble less. So because what you do here is for the whole team. So you can set something for the whole team, but it doesn't count for one person. You go and fix it here. So these things here is, be careful with it, because if you have Kante here playing as a box-to-box midfielder, and you know Kante will come up a lot on a lot of moves up forward, that means in Chelsea, Kante will start dribble more also here. Do you want that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. If you have worked the ball into box and you're also running at defense, the chance of getting a lot of counterattacks against you at the when you're really unbalanced, when you have the ball and you have moved up on many players, is huge risk. So think about that. Maybe you just want to work the ball into box and you want your best dribblers to dribble more. Maybe you can just do it that way. Okay? Be more expressive. You ask your player to take this. Be more expressive. Normally you ask the players to take more freedom and do something that they... And again, this is in the final third. It's not all the field. This doesn't mean... Many people think, okay, we want to play defensively, so be more disciplined. Now, for example, Mourinho plays be more expressive. He wants to end the attack as fast as possible, so be more expressive. He gives the players freedom at the last third. It's the players who have to end it there. He helps you with the counter-attacking, direct playing to get you at the final third. The players' flair have to do something. So it's important. Have your play good decision-making, good flair, and good teams, good players can do it. But again, bad teams can also do it because they don't see all the opportunities. So okay, you help them. Hey, please think more, think something yourself. Don't keep yourself to the system that much. But if you have taken a lot of things here, play instructions, you have taken something there, right? Changed a lot. Then you go and be more expressive. It's very hard to be expressive because there's a lot of things to do here, right? So imagine it yourself. Okay. In translation, guys, is counter press. Counter press says when you lose the ball, do you want your players to start the pressuring right away? Do you want them or not? Okay, what will happen if you ask them to pressure more? What will this do to your physical play? It says that all these players need to have good physical abilities to pressure higher up in the field. When you lose the ball, they have to be fast. They have the good stamina. They have to have good decision making. They have to read the game well. They have to do work rate. So a Barcelona of 2011 would do that, but Pedro was very good at that, for example. But the more now, for example, was Xavi, Iniesta good enough? You had Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets here. Are they physical great players to do that? No, but they were disciplined players. Their work rate was high, and they made it happen, right? And if you're using counter press, that means again your players will go out of shape when you lose the ball, and they will start pressuring, and they will empty the space behind them. These players will empty the space behind them. Okay? So when you lose the ball, these players will go into pressure. I used this when I made the reconstruction of the Pep Guardiola, but the thing was that this guy in Pep style doesn't go pushing high. Sergio Busquets in his time, he used to fall down and catch the passing lines. So what I did, I used him as a halfback. What I asked him to do, I went here. I said press intensity less urgent. He's already holding position when the team has the ball. So when the opposition have the ball, he doesn't want you to pressure that much. Because already the team is counter pressing, so this is already higher, right? What I said, he doesn't counter press. So you can also do things like that. I don't want everyone to go counter pressing. I just want you 3 to go counter pressing. Okay, then I said that then I can go on these 3 players, play instruction, ask them to just have more. What I can tell that you want them to pressure more, right? Also, counter pressing included with this one means the players will run out of their positional place and try to get the ball. So these players, especially higher up in the field, these players will just go at it. They will fly out of their positions and go and defend, right? So be aware of what you are hitting, right? So the counter attack, that does mean that when I played with Barcelona, I didn't do that, because if I would play with Liverpool, absolutely, they got the physical, they got the pace, they got the off the ball movement, and they also got the vision that they can hit it down. It's easier to hit opponent on counter attacking. But what will happen when you counter attack? You win the ball, you counter attack. You are not keeping the ball in team. You are getting it faster forward by hitting the counter here. It means every time you win the ball, tempo will be higher for the players, and passing directness will go up when you win the ball. Just when the seconds you win the ball. If you don't end it there, it will go back to standard again. With me? Because at the point they're counter-attacking, what are you asking them? To counter them. If you win the ball, I want you to hit them. Where do they hit them? Isn't a goal here. Then they don't start playing back passes and things like that. These players will hit forward. So be focused on that. So that means more turnovers. Is your team shaped to play counter-attacking? Can I adjust this by don't use? And if you, for example, use counter, and you are asking, and you're playing like this, who do you think will get the ball most then? I think it will go to the false 9. If you use this advanced playmaker, I think he will be your enforcer. They will go through him. And then they win the ball, they will seek him. And also again, things like through the middle, the width of your team will also be counting here. And the person and play instructions, okay? Hold shape. I'm a fan of this one. I really like it. I am a possession type of guy, so I like to have control with the balls when I play this game. They hold the shape. They hold the shape. They win the ball, they keep the ball in the team, they start passing together here, small passes. If you hold the shape, okay, and you're playing, asking them to be more disciplined, you're asking them to have lower tempo. That means each player keeps the ball a little bit more, and they are passing shorter, so they are not seeking big aim into space with the forward when they win the ball. What do you think will happen if you hold shape as well? When they win the ball, you just start passing here. This can kill you against a gegenpress. This can really kill you, but maybe it also can save you with playing it like this. But then the build-up will be well, but how will you attack? How will you... You're asking them to be disciplined when they come in the final turn. You're killing their freedom in a way. You are asking them to have a lower tempo with the ball at the final part. You're asking them to be shorter, and the players are standing a long way from each other. What will that happen then? Then you will be countered to death. So okay, in the build-up against them, you will live. When you come to the final third and you lose the ball, Salah and Mane will kill you at the other part of the game. I use a lot of Liverpool example because playing against Liverpool, that's a real mess in this game, you know. I think that gegenpress I got a little bit too much out of hand when it comes to Football Manager. That's my thing. Okay. So you understand the whole shape. Slow down the pace to goalkeeper, give him the freedom. You have fast attackers, he's good in kicking. Okay, use this, but again, just like counter, you will get balls against you. If you have this one and distribute quickly, that means when you win the ball, all of these players that are green start the forward movements. You pass the ball to this, and he will also shove it up. Some of your players can be hit on the turnover here. So again, use your head, boys and girls. Out of possession, the balance here will decide your mentality, right? this is slower defense. You have slow defenders. This can help you. Also, you can go here and use cover on your players, for example. That can help you as well. This is how you want to approach it. If you use cover here, that means the players will fall more down. They will not go hard on defenders. If you're playing against a very fast center attacker, and you use stoppers, he will be searching for getting him, winning the ball on him. What will happen if you mark him even tighter, right? If you mark, for example, what do you think will happen if you mark Sadio Mane? What do you think will happen? He will kill you. He will kill you. He's too fast. He's too technically good. He will get the marker out. You don't put technically good players on one-on-one. Once I played once against a team that I knew had very weak left side and left back. So what I did, I made opposition instruction, the right back, press him, mark him, and make him use the left side. And then I use this by use your left foot. And the ball came here. I asked him also to use his left foot, because then I forced him forward. I forced that pass forward, and they were really weak on that left side, especially that game when they were using, I think, a extremely bad junior player at the left side. So I could then catch them at the left side, and they were really good at the right side. And I saw that many of their assists came from right side, as I saw and analyze. So I forced them to the left, and then I won the ball at the left side. Easier for me in that game. Okay, it worked one time. So we are going back here to the position. So remember that. So use tighter marking. You don't use more tighter marking. Why do you use tighter marking? That's when you can dominate a team. They are slow players. You are fast players. If you're Liverpool playing against they got a lot of fast players, right? Even in the midfield, use this, but the marking has to be good. The concentration, then decision, so they don't get rounded. Because then you're playing man mark out there, it means more that they are marking tighter, so they are closer to the player. So if one of your players can't win it, and one of their players is very good to turn him around, then they have one more player free. So because he's getting loose of his marker with the ball, then he will make chaos for you, the rest of your team, because the rest of the team is one less player now. It's like 5-a-side. If you mark them too tight, he dribbles you, is 5 against 4, because you have lost one of your players that marked him tight, right? Anyway, and also this one, sorry, I forgot this one. This is mostly for the higher up players in the field, right? So I go here and I see, do these players have good attacking? Can they defend well? Do they have the physique to go out there? And also, does these players got the physique? Because when I ask them to go higher, do you see the space gets bigger? These players have to defend more now, right? You agree with me? So they have to cover more space. And you're asking your players to go out of their positions and pressure higher up in the field. So if only these players doesn't do it, doesn't work. For example, in Paris Saint-Germain, it worked for me. They pressured high up in the field. You had Cavani, you had Mbappe, they killed them up there. And you had a midfield that was dominant both defensively and offensively. So it really worked well. But if you're using a lot of offensive rules here and you're doing this and a lot of advanced playmakers and things like that, this can kill you. And also, if you're also ball-winning midfielders, because they will automatically go higher up in the field. They will pressure higher up in the field. They're ball-winning midfielders, then searching around, especially ball-winning midfielder in support. They will go out there and hunting, and you are giving them green light for hunting. Okay, so but sometimes this works and sometimes this works. Especially this works if you have it this lower. It can keep your midfield more compact. So if you're seeing the midfielders of the opponent are dominating the game, they're getting the ball in your field very much, and they are freely passing it to side, and you don't have pressure on their midfielders. You can either go like this, or you can either go like this lower. So this space have to be less. Do you see? Where is the space now? Space is here. Where is the space now? The space is here. Then you have to have fast defenders. Okay, and also you can also see that this one is very important. If you're playing against opponents that are going behind the defensive line, you can do like this, and also go like this. If you're seeing a game when playing against a very fast striker, and you can see on the report before the game that they score most of their goals on through balls. If you go like this, what will happen? There's a lot of space here, and as you can see, there's a lot of space between the players. So there is very simple for them to pass it through. You will give them a highway right to your goal. So you can go here, and then you can go here. So higher up defensive line, you need better defensive, faster defenders who can read the game well. You also need a maybe goalkeeper higher up in the field that is good in one-on-ones, because he will go higher up in the field. You see, goalkeeper comes higher up in the field. But is he the right person to stand so high up in the field? Is he good on one-on-ones? Can he read the game well? Take that into consideration. So, yeah. So if you're using, for example, attacking, you see the defensive line is very high. And some people say, but no, this is not high. This is standard. I want it higher. But do you know how high this is? If you go to stand balanced, it's like much higher. You see? Same place. So, okay. And prevent short pressing intensity here. I always have it here but this also says again, for example, if you have it like this, you want them to press more intense when they come here. So you have it lower, for example, here. You have more compact like this. So you pressure them a little bit more so they don't get that time. But what will happen if this space is too much is that the players will go more out of possession. I feel it like more like that, and you will get a lot of crosses against you. So this works also, for example, very well high up in the field when you go extremely urgent, when you have the players who can do it. But if you go like this, and you go like this, and you also go counter press, and you go on player here, and you ask him to mark title, tackle horror, would be craziness in my opinion. It can work. Very great teams it can work, but some teams it will not work. So if you're asking why you want to play fast forward football and you are getting a lot of goals against you and you're losing games and you don't know why you're getting fired from Burnley, that's maybe the reason. Or a middle table team, that's maybe the reason. You're trying too hard. Play simple. Prevent short kick distribution is that you don't let the opponent start from the goal because you pressure them high up in the field. So if you also tickle this one, that prevent the goalkeeper short distribution, instruct forwards to press opposition defense to try to prevent the goalkeeper building the back. This should force the goal. But here's the problem. This was something from Football Manager 2019, I think, 19. That worked well there because of the rules then. Because now these boys can go in here and get the ball. So what will happen now is that they get the ball, they pass it back to the goalkeeper, then you can go and mark them. So the players then come up and mark them, and then you force the goalkeeper to don't keep the ball here, shove it up higher up in the field. So that doesn't mean they're standing on them. So this as well, in a way, is the same thing as these things like this, extreme urgent, prevent short kick from distribution. In a way, you're asking them to pressure just harder, as well as counter. Counter press is more when you lose the ball. But it will, if you're playing attacking game, guys, very attacking, you have all this on. You have to have good players. This says just how hard they would tackle. If you have players, you're getting a lot of yellow cards, a lot of red cards. That's the reason, maybe. If you have a player with a high aggression, bad tackling, and you get stuck in, you should maybe go to that player, for example, here, and say to him, hey, the other players are getting stuck in, but you're gonna ease off those tackles. So he doesn't get, because you can get easier cards, you get more free kick against you. If you're seeing a game that the opponent is, all the key highlights are the opponent having free kick against you, then you have a problem. Then you're making too many free kicks. Then go and look at the stats of that game, see which player is giving those free kicks, and then maybe you hit it off, right? Then you can do that. For example, also something I see that players do here at the sides, but I have my player as a winger in support, and he's a fullback in support. But they keep coming around here. I don't know why. I have gone to a position instruction. I'm marking those players. I'm keeping it. Then you go on the player attributes and look how is the defending of those players. I can just show you one thing here. If you go to Leicester, I saw that my friend, or what you call him, that he got a lot of goals from the left side. Okay, what's your problem? I saw that he used Barnes at the left midfielder, left winger. Where are you, my friend? Barnes. It should be here. Harvey Barnes. look at his mentals. Okay, he's weak. He doesn't read the game well. He doesn't have the bravery that much. He don't have the concentration, so he can't concentrate. His decision making is bad as well. His work rate is just normal. It's not good. It's not that bad, but it's not good. Teamwork is not that well. Positioning is low. Tackling is low. So when you used him in that role against a very, very good right back, you will know Barnes will have problem. So I said to him, imbalance in your team. Maybe, and here is something maybe crazy, because you want to have Madison behind your strikers, I said to him, then maybe you should use Praet, for example, as a wide midfielder, as an inverted winger. And then you can ask Praet and Madison to switch places in the game. And you have personalized instructions for each player in those roles. And I'm going to show you that how you can do that, okay? And the thing is, we're going to go here. And also then you have to also think about the defensive part. If you're using him as attacking advanced playmaker in attack, his wing support, his fullback support, and this Barnes here, and this is not the world's best left back, that means that he won't support Barnes. He's doing his thing here. So Barnes is solo around here. If this guy is offensively, then this guy should have a little bit defensive abilities. Not roles, but abilities. Okay, I'm going to show you something here, very cool. So you can say, for example, at the left side, this is something I use for myself, not oftenly. You got Pulisic, okay? And then I also have another player that is called Willian. Here, let's say Mount, okay? Yeah, I think that's better. I like these two players. Okay, I got Willian and I got Mount. I want Willian to be, in a way, my advanced Mezzala here. Let's say, yeah, that's advanced playmaker, okay? And I want Mount to be my winger here. So the main thing is here that will be like that. Okay, for example, just don't think if the rules will hang together. But the thing is that I want him here, advanced playmaker, coming up here. But some games I can see that it's better to have him there as an inverted winger. So I use these two players at the field same time. I go to players. I go on Willian. Personalized. So it's only for Willian. When Willian plays this position, he's gonna play, for example, Mezzala. He's gonna have to. I want him to dribble more. I want him to hit those passes behind. I want him to shoot more, tackle hard, because he's this. You know, I can give him whatever I want to. Okay, and I want him to be even run wide with the ball. And when he does that, I want this guy, Mason Mount, to do other things. I want him to, when he plays here, as you see, is Mason Mount at the side. Personalized him. I want you to play Terquista. Stretching. I want him to be a road mounter. I want him to be a wide target man. Okay, but I asked these two players to maybe I want them to change places with each other. So I asked them to, you want them to, how can I say it, switch rules in the game, right? So then I have also said, okay, I know Mount and Willian, but when they switch position, I go on Willian. I said, Willian, when you are playing at side here, you see I'm in this position. I'm at this position, at the left side. I go on Mount, he's a wide target man, but I go on Willian, is inside forward. I say, I want to personalize you. When you play here, I want you to be my wide playmaker, advanced playmaker, like that. I want you to do this, okay? So when Mount is playing there, he's doing that, Willian. But remember that if I ask them to switch place, Mount will come here. He will be playing this role, right? So what do? I go here on Mount, but Mount, when you are coming here, then Willian is a playmaker. I don't need you as a playmaker. What do I need you as? I need you as a maybe ball-winning midfielder. And then you ask the players, and this of course personalized. So if this is like this will be all the way, but then it's personal. And you have to also go, for example, something like this, personalized. So what will happen is that these two players will switch roles in the game, as you can see here, positions. switch role. These two players are switching roles. So these two players are switching roles. So as you can see, you got these marks out there. So when Mount is here, he's a wide target man, and if Willian is there, and they are switching places in the game. So for example, when my friend was playing with Leicester, he wanted Maddison to give the ball to Mr. Vardy, and he also wanted, but when Barnes played here, Barnes was left winger in attack, so you kept Maddison here as a shadow striker, for example. I don't know what it was. Then he was a winger. So, but Barnes was a winger here from down the field. So, but they also sometimes switched the roles. Then Barnes was a normal attacking midfield and central, but the guy Maddison was inverted winger. So he came in here and Barnes went there, and I asked Barnes to go maybe wide with the ball, things like that. So because sometimes the space is here, sometimes space is there. It helps you. So for example, sometimes Maddison comes from here and gives them the ball, and sometimes Maddison gave them the ball from here. So that's also a cool thing to have. But work more on the player. I will look, for example, here, I will go like this, and I will look at sometimes attributes, and I will look at the technical, offensively, and I will look at the, for example, dribble here. I see Kovacic is good dribbler. His flair is very well, you know. So I really want him to dribble more at the final part of the field. So I go and I give him, for example, the role of AMR, something like that. Okay. And I ask him to like this. Let's say he's a ball box-to-box midfielder. I go to him here and I say, hey, you know, Mr. Kovacic, I see you're a great dribbler. So, you know what I want from you? I want you to dribble more. But remember, he's already more positive because we're playing attacking. So that will make him even more. Okay, I want you to dribble more. Not the final third. I want you to do it. So you don't need to say to all team dribble more. I want you to do it. So I always go there and I see, okay, who's my good dribblers? Are they final part of the field? But also remember, I think, for example, if you go to the wing back here, you're using him as a fullback in defense. He cannot dribble more. So if he dribbles here, you ask him to dribble more. Remember, if you don't got the ball much in the field and this player is here, he can suddenly dribble a little bit more at the closer here. But that doesn't happen that much. Mostly this goes higher up in the field. So you got some good dribblers, go against them. If you're seeing your opponent is very bad in tackling and things like that, and this player is very good in dribbling, before that game, hey, you dribble more. You will dribble more. Things like that. And some players already have that inside themselves. So, and if you have a player that's really bad in technical things, and or if that player have a role that is not needed for that play, we need him more to pass fast the ball, keep the ball, recycle the ball. You don't maybe want him to dribble that much. So you just say, hey, dribble less, guy. I know you're a good dribbler, but I don't want you to dribble that much. So make sure you don't do it too offensively. Don't ask them to do too much, and don't do it more too defensively. And if you're a coach that like Klopp, Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, you have a style. You just want to play that. I think that's very cool if you have it. And we should have more of them in Play Manager. If just starting a game and just adjust to that team. You are a coach of your fashion. You change it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You bring in your players that you want to, and you don't have the all time in the world to do it, but you switch their philosophy to your philosophy. Then you make a tactic. It works with one team. You adopt it. You just go in there, bring it up here, copying it, set it in here, adjust it based on your team and opponent and how good your team is and bad team is. So you have to do adjustments. Every coach does that. But then you have a philosophy is working. You go around that one. You don't need to scramble from start. You know, that like, for example, Pep going from City, from Barcelona to Bayern München, he did some sacrifices. He did some adjustments. He have to do that. Then he came to Manchester City, new adjustments, right? But he brought his philosophy. So bring your philosophy, save that tactic, go through it. I love when people do that. Guys, if you like this one, hit the like button. Life is short. Subscribe if you want to. And that was very bad ending here, but yeah. And if there's any coaches you want me to remake, tell me. I'm at this point remaking Manchester United from 1999. Hope it will be out there soon. See you soon, guys. See you soon, and bye bye.